based on age or not based on merit, but based on place.
I would say we need about $5 million.
The land that they intend to purchase will not be land on which they can build a casino.
Could be increase or influx of undesirable activity.
In January 2012, Mayor of Lansing, Virg Vernero, announced his proposal to build a Kewadin casino in downtown Lansing. Since then, the topic has been controversial within the Lansing community.
The whole project is a $217 million project, which has been signed off 6-1 by the Lansing City Council, as well as the Sioux Ste. Marie tribe of the Chippewas up in the UP. They currently own 5 casinos up in the UP, the Kewadin, which this one will be as well as a joint ventureship down in Detroit. Now, what this would entail is that the way to entice people to support it, they said that a lot of the profits would go towards education, a scholarship fund for students in the Lansing area for college. However, there's been a lot of backlash over the casino because of proposed crime rates could increase, because Lansing is known for crime. They could only increase with more people walking around with a lot of money, or their winnings, as well as, will that money actually go?
Well, the estimates vary. It's a major boon. You have what it's going to do directly. Some of it is easily measurable. If they employ 1,500 people in good-paying jobs, those people will pay city income tax. That's in addition to our city income tax of somewhere around $300,000, $300,000 or $400,000 directly, and then the other economic impact. That's estimated somewhere between $250 million and $400 million annually, and that would be impact from extra business, from restaurants that might come up, from extra convention business, etc.
That's where I would disagree with it, because it won't. It'll actually kill business. Because you gotta look at it. The casino's gonna bring in chain stores. It's gonna bring in, these 5-star restaurants. But what's that gonna do? It's gonna suck money out of the local economy. It's pretty much going to cannibalize the local economy. I mean, it's great that you're gonna have more, jobs at this casino, but I think you're just gonna be really breaking even, because you're gonna lose jobs in that area. People are not going to want to go to an area where there's a lot of casino activity, which could hurt small businesses. With the increase in activity, some small businesses who have regular customers, the regular customers won't come in, so they'll have to shut their doors. And they may just be taken over by the casino, because the casino, will have restaurants. It will have, it'll be self-sufficient. It's not going to, you don't go there and gamble, and then after that you go to the local, pub and eat. You usually eat in the casino. They have a restaurant. So I feel that it would actually, you'd break even on jobs, because you'd be gaining jobs at the casino but losing jobs in the local economy.
Some of the cons, of course, would be the reverse of some of that there wouldn't be actually be the amount of revenues that are promised. It wouldn't be a number of the jobs that were promised. There will also be issues concerning gamblers and their addiction to gambling, and them losing everything that they have, or wrecking their homes. And this would be like a mental illness, because gambling would be in line with that. Could be increase or influx of undesirable activity from additional prostitution. There could be people who would rob or stick you up, criminal activity that may put people in jeopardy from leaving the facility or just being in the area. There's also an increase of homeless that people have mentioned in that area. So So those are pretty much the major cons that a number of people have touched on.
So when we say concerns, we got to keep them in perspective and be rational about it. This is not the 1940s or 50s in Las Vegas. You know, you're not going to have this. There's no evidence that this would increase gang activity or drug activity or prostitution. I've had people say, "Oh, you know, we got rid of the prostitutes downtown, and now you want to bring in a casino." Yeah, that's right. That's right. But number one, you didn't get rid of all the prostitutes. I still see an occasional one. And number two, that has no connection to a casino in the year 2012. If you've been to Soaring Eagle, if you've been to some of the other casinos, they're some of the cleanest, brightest places in town. If you've been down to Detroit at their casinos, some of the safest place to be in downtown Detroit is around those casinos. There's lights, there's cameras, there's security. It'd be interesting to see a report on crime in Detroit and crime directly in the vicinity of those casinos. I think they're some of the safest places in Detroit. But just in case, because we know anytime you build a facility with more people, you're going to have more incidents, human beings being what they are. So we have money, as I say, about $1.2 million extra, to have a little extra police presence in the downtown to make sure everything's safe.
Well, I think what they should do is put together some kind of discourse, like have those who think, like, I suppose you mean like religious groups or sects like that, put them in discourse with those who think it'd be beneficial for the community and have them actually talk about it. There's too much like talking past each other and stuff like that with these kind of issues. You need to actually put them together and like have them talk about it. And I can't possibly tell you what the result will be, but that'll be better than just having them two totally divergent sides not being touched on together or brought together at all, and just, you know, talking about them as if they're disparate opinions that can't be mediated, or there can't be any kind of compromise reached. And I know with religious groups it's really hard, but it's better to try.
Unlike pre-existing Indian casinos in Michigan, such as Soaring Eagle or Firekeepers, Kewadin and Lansing will not be built on reservation land. The Sioux tribe must purchase the land in downtown Lansing before it can build the casino. The state of Michigan, however, does not believe that this purchase is legal.
A law was passed by Congress, the Michigan Indian Land Claims Settlement Act, which basically required the payment of several millions of dollars to the various tribes, including the Sioux tribe. As it pertains to the Sioux tribe, the act specifically sets out requirements and restrictions for how that money can be spent by the Sioux tribe. And the tribe has fairly complicated claims as to the property in Lansing that it intends to buy with these funds. And it claims certain provisions of the Michigan Inland Claims Settlement Act gives it the right to open and operate a casino. The state disagrees with that interpretation of that particular act.
I think that the governor, his opposition is understandable and to be expected, because the state, prior to when he was governor, the state negotiated with a number of tribes. They call them compacts. And they negotiated certain conditions in these compacts in order to get other tribes to pay the state a portion of the funds, the proceeds, the profits from their casinos. And the state put some curious things in those compacts, things that I never would have put in those compacts, things that perhaps Governor Snyder wouldn't have put in those compacts. But as governor, he must live with the terms of those agreements.
What steps could the casino take, if any, to proceed with its plans and fix the legality issues of it?
Well, I don't think there are steps that they can take. I think that the land that they intend to purchase will not be land on which they can build a casino. That if they do it, it will violate federal law, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not something that they can fix. At least not without, getting Congress to change the law or something.
All right.
But as a practical matter, again, in my opinion, people will disagree with me. Certainly the Sioux Tribe disagrees, and probably people at the city of Lansing disagree. But I've looked at the question pretty closely, and I don't think that they can do it under the law.
What penalties could the Sioux Tribe face if the tribe decides to continue with its proposal?
Well, at a minimum, they'd be required to, or they'd be prohibited from opening the casino by a court. Whether there would be other penalties, that's something I will have to take a look at and figure out.
According to Mayor Bernero, approximately $5 to $6 billion would go towards funding for the Lansing Promise Zone. The Lansing Promise Zone would provide a scholarship for a 2-year associate's degree at Lansing Community College for all students graduating from the Lansing School District starting from 2012.
I think it's a relatively small percentage. It's a percentage of, I don't know what the overall casino plan is as it relates to the dollar figure, but it's a percentage of the winnings from the slot machines is coming towards the Lansing Promise.
So Mayor Richmond, he was quoted, I believe he said that the casino would most likely provide between $5 million and $6 million for the Lansing area.
Mm-hmm.
So after that then, would the Promise Zone just be set, or would it still need private donors?
I have to tell you, if we were to receive $5 to $6 million a year, the Promise Zone would be set.